I haven't watched Married at First Sight in years. I don't even remember which season I dropped off at, but I guess I'm back. However, I don't know how long I'm staying because they're already pissing me off. Season 20, episode 1 is in the great city of Seattle. I've never been to Seattle, but I heard it was a really good city. Now, in the first episode, we were only able to get through the weddings of 3 couples, so let's talk about the first couple. First couple is Felipe and Tori. Felipe is a former Microsoft employee who is now a restaurant owner. Tori is a current Microsoft employee and she does marketing for Microsoft. One thing I enjoyed about this couple was their vows. In their vows, they acknowledged that relationships aren't perfect, but they were both committed to at least trying and making it work. They also seem very attracted to each other, which is important. That is one thing that bothers me about these types of shows. They always set it up as if looks don't matter. Looks matter. They do. People don't want to say that verbally because it sounds harsh. And it sounds harsh because it sounds like you're saying, I need to be with someone that everyone finds attractive. No. The only person who needs to find your partner attractive is you. Fuck what everybody else saying. Why do we care so much about what other people think? Back to this couple. My concern with this couple is Mr. Party Pants here. Is he going to be able to give up his party life or at least find a way to fit his wife into his current life? Now, his excuse is that he goes out so much because he's single and doesn't have a wife, which is probably true, but I just wonder how easy or how difficult will it be for him to turn that off. Next up, we have Mecca and Bella Jolie. I really hope I'm not messing her name up. Mecca is a sanitation worker and Bella Jolie is a singer. I really liked their energy. They were a very fun young couple. And at their ceremony, it seemed like they got lost in each other for a second. They were too busy talking to each other about what they were into, their likes and dislikes. And I thought that was very cute that they tuned everybody out for a second and just concentrated on each other. But my concern here is that Mecca had a very rough childhood, which is no fault of his own. Let me pause here and say this before I express my concerns about Mecca. I hate to hear when people say they only want to be with someone who comes from a good family because you have no control over the family that you come from. However, once you become an adult, you do have control and the responsibility of working through that trauma so that it doesn't impact your relationships. So when it comes to Mecca, my question is, has he done the work to work through his trauma and how has that showed up in his previous relationships? And I'm interested to see if it will show up in this marriage. So in the episode, they touched on the subject of Mecca being abandoned by his mother and then later on being abandoned by a stepmom. So my question for him is, how does he view women? Also, my concern is the people that are currently in his life. What influence do they have over his life? Because what we saw of his dad in the episode, it's given that his dad likes to be the center of attention. And I'm sorry, Dad, but right now this is about your son. So that is my concern with Mecca and Bella Jolie. The last wedding we got to attend was Adam and Marissa. I'll keep it real short and simple when it comes to Adam and Marissa. They aren't going to make it. Adam doesn't have room for anybody else in his life but Adam. And that's why he's single. He wants and probably needs somebody that is a carbon copy of him. And how boring is that? Of course, you want to be with someone who shares similar interests, but he just seems to criticize everything that someone does differently than him. Also, at the end of the episode, when Marissa is walking down the aisle and she is revealed to him, we find out that they actually know each other. Because keep in mind, everybody is from Seattle or at least the surrounding area. So I guess in episode 2, we'll find out how they know each other. Now, let me say this, and this is for the matchmakers. What are y'all doing? And how much do y'all make? Because no. Why would you put someone who drinks with someone who's sober? Why would you put someone who parties every night with someone who is a little bit more timid and doesn't go out every night? I'm going to tell you what y'all doing because I already know. You are matching people together who you think need each other versus compatibility. And that's the problem. You are matching people for ratings and not compatibility. And this is going to end up traumatizing people. But I guess we'll see what episode 2 brings. We have more couples and more weddings to go to. We'll see if I make it through this season. Like I said, they're already pissing me off. But I guess I'll try to stay for the ride as long as I can. Don't take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I appreciate you being here. And I will see y'all in episode 2.